Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, you watching right now. Let me hit you with a question. What if I told you that by 2025, 10 Caribbean countries could gain visa-free entry into the United States? Sounds impossible, right? Too wild? Too unbelievable? Well, buckle up, because what you're about to hear is controversial, disruptive, and guaranteed to spark arguments from Washington to the West Indies. And before you label this a conspiracy theory, understand this. This video is not about rumors. This is about real policy trends, ongoing negotiations, and a geopolitical chess match unfolding behind closed doors. Some of you are going to love this. A whole lot of you are going to hate this. But all of you will be shocked. Because the US is quietly making moves, big moves, to counter China and Russia's influence in the Caribbean. And one of the strongest diplomatic weapons America has is simple: visa access. Not CNN. Not Fox News. Not MSNBC. Nobody is talking about this. But we're going to break it wide open. Today, we reveal the 10 Caribbean countries the United States may no longer require visas from in 2025, and trust me, the last one on this list will leave your jaw on the floor. Let's get into it. Number 1. Barbados. Barbados has always been a US favorite: stable democracy, high literacy, strong institutions, and zero anti-American rhetoric. More importantly, Barbados is not a migration risk, a political headache, or a hub of anti-US extremism. Plus, American retirees love it. From a policy standpoint, Barbados is the easiest, yes, on this list. Number 2. St. Kitts and Nevis. Beautiful beaches, gorgeous landscapes, charming culture. But what really puts St. Kitts on the map? Their citizenship by investment program, arguably the most famous, and criticized, in the Caribbean. If you've got money, you can literally buy a St. Kitts passport. So imagine the outrage if people can buy a passport and then enter the United States visa-free. Politicians will scream. Commentators will melt down. Critics will say, so a Russian oligarch can just stroll into America now? This one will be explosive. Number 3. Antigua and Barbuda. Another CBI giant, but with better diplomacy. Antigua plays chess, not checkers, hosting US security summits, cooperating on anti-drug trafficking, aligning with Washington on intelligence sharing. And here's the quiet policy engine behind it: the CBP Pre-Clearance Expansion Act plus Regional Intelligence Cooperation Bills. These laws allow the U.S. to establish pre-clearance operations abroad. Visa-free travel becomes the carrot. Cooperation becomes the price. But Americans will absolutely lose their minds over the idea of passport buyers getting waved into the country. Expect Congress to explode. Number 4. The Bahamas. Tourism paradise, offshore banking powerhouse. The US and Bahamas have a love-hate relationship, strong allies, but long history of money laundering accusations. Still, Bahamians travel to the US constantly. Miami practically feels like Nassau 2.0. Overstays are manageable. Cultural ties are strong. Strategically, the US gains goodwill and reduces Chinese influence. Easy policy win, very controversial. Number 5. St. Lucia. A regional wildcard. St. Lucia has been aggressively pushing transparency, partnering with US education programs, cracking down on corruption. The backlash will be fierce. Why them and not us? Are we being punished for aligning with China? And most Americans can't even find St. Lucia on a map. But geopolitics isn't about population size, it's about cooperation. Number 6. Grenada. Grenada isn't flashy, but it is smart. It stays neutral, peaceful, supportive of US votes at the UN, and that neutrality is gold to Washington. If Grenada joins the visa waiver wave, US anti-immigration groups will erupt again. Another country where you can buy citizenship, now getting visa-free entry? Prepare for chaos. Number 7. Trinidad and Tobago. Now we're entering nuclear territory. Trinidad and Tobago has massive oil and gas reserves. One of the strongest economies in the Caribbean. Deep trade ties with the US, but it also has a crime reputation. Gang-related headlines. Immigration critics waiting to pounce. Fox News will run wild with this story. But here's the truth they won't mention. Trinidadians are among the most educated diasporas in the US. Doctors, engineers, academics, you name it. This one will divide America sharply. Number 8. Dominica. Small, quiet, but incredibly strategic. Dominica leads the Caribbean in climate diplomacy, environmental policy, cooperation with Interpol. Visa-free travel would be a green reward, but again, CBI controversies will haunt it. People will argue the US is selling its borders to the highest bidder. Number 9. Jamaica. This one could break the internet. Jamaica has a massive US diaspora. Its culture is embedded into American life, music, food, sports, everything. But high overstay rates, crime perception issues, immigration politics make Jamaica the most explosive candidate on this entire list. If Jamaica gets waived, US immigration politics will change forever. Number 10. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Small country. Huge diplomatic punch. SVG. Supports US policies. Pushes transparency. Avoids geopolitical drama. It's the safe bet candidate. But the controversy is obvious. Why them and not Guyana? Why not Haiti? Why not the Dominican Republic? Scarcity fuels anger. And this decision will create plenty. The policy behind the shock. This entire shift becomes possible through the quiet expansion of the US visa waiver program under 2 bills introduced in 2024. The Western Hemisphere Stability and Access Act. The Caribbean Engagement Strategy. Their goals: strengthen regional diplomacy, counter China, expand economic cooperation, reward security collaboration. If you're American, ask yourself, why are we treating our closest neighbors like strangers, while giving visa waivers to countries halfway across the world? It's a question Washington can't ignore much longer.